And good evening, everyone. Hey, I just had a revelation. If you stay out in the sun too long, all of your coloring starts to fade and reveals your true age. So I am on temporary hiatus from being or looking younger than my age. So please ignore the man behind the curtain. That's not me. Welcome once again to Mark B. Knows or Mark Knows Everybody, whatever the hell this show is called. I didn't name it. Hi, Terry from Ireland. Good to see you there. Every twice a week, at least I try twice a week. It doesn't normally happen twice a week, but twice a week I try to focus on my friends, and basically they're my friends on Facebook, the people that I know and I actually don't know. These are people that I have met them in one way or another, know a little bit about most of their careers, most of the individuals' careers, but never really had a sit-down chat with what they do, life in general, the whole 9 yards. Good evening, Lorraine. How are you? So that's what this show is about. And I didn't name the show, but it's basically the people that I know that I would like for you to know. Originally, we were supposed to have our guest, Audrey Brown, on first, but I sent her the wrong information of when she is to come on, and she has not checked her communication devices as of yet. Otherwise, she would have known that I needed her at 7:15, but that's okay. We moved on to our second guest, and our second guest is here, ready to pop on up. And we actually had him on this show once before. And I had, it's never a mistake to ask someone to reappear, but I couldn't remember, even though I could have checked my own list to see when Jim was on. But obviously Jim has been on before, and we have discussed Jim and his life and things in general. So we're going to have a replay, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Jim for the next 30 minutes. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and go to our next guest. So let's go ahead and bring this chump up. There he is, downing a bottle of gin, as I'm sure it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jim Yager. Jim is a podcast, as you saw. He's a podcast guru, aren't you, Jim?
I am. And Mark, may I say you're just as sexy as ever, so don't worry about it.
Oh, my God. You know, people say, oh, you look very distinguished. I don't want to look distinguished. I mean, I don't want to look distinguished. Fine. You know, if that attributes to age, then I don't want to look distinguished. So there.
You look like Morgan Freeman, okay?
No, I don't. Why are you saying that? Because all black people look alike? Are you saying that because I am black and I don't look anything like Morgan Freeman, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, you don't look like Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, you know, taxes will remain the same. There will be no hoarding. There will be no raising of gas. Life will go on as always. You will pay your taxes.
This is exact. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
No. I mean, that just made a great impact on a lot of people. Get it? Okay. All right. Anyways,
the man, the myth, the legend.
No, I am not. So, hey, Jim, it's great to see you again.
Yes.
I met you a long time ago, as we said in the first show, before when you were first appeared. We met a long time ago when I helped you with your convention in New York. Is that correct?
Yep.
And that was Albany. No,
yes.
It was Albany. Yes,
yep.
Yes. One of the tri-state cities, whatever. What's the motto?
It was Tricon.
It was Tricon?
Yeah, Tri-City Convention.
That's it. Okay. So, and what year was that?
1991.
So you understand what the grade does to you, right? You can't remember dates, at least.
Yeah.
I got the location.
Yes.
And I understand. And that was your first con, right?
Yes. But it was also your first con.
Yes, it was. Well, other than the Baltimore cons. But yes, it was. It was my first convention out of state. And it was absolutely fantastic. Jim, tell me. Somebody loved it. Hey, that a girl, Rose. Yay. Okay, she loved my. And the taxes will remain the same. You will pay your tax anyway. Whatever that scene was in. So when you did your convention, I'm sorry. You know what? But it's okay for women to color their hair for some reason, right? they do it more than we do.
Karen dyes hers, and you can't see. I've got some gray going on, like Mr. Fantastic on the sides.
Oh, cool. Reed Richards.
She wants me to dye my hair, but I refuse to do it because I want to look. I want the distinguished look like you.
Well, the lovely Karen, I see Audrey down there in the lobby. She's being punished right now because she doesn't check her social media messages when she's supposed to. So you're just going to sit there, lady. Yes, I can't hear you, but I can see you wanting to throw things at you at this point. But this platform doesn't have that capability as of yet. Yeah, and Carl Stryken was at that convention as well, right?
Yes, we got married on Friday night before the convention, and Carl came to the wedding, and there's our wedding picture right there.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know who Carl Stryken played was Laxwana Troy's manservant in Next Generation, but he also played Lurch in the 2 Addams Family movies.
Yep.
So he's a great friend of mine. I swear I've been to his house. I think I've been to his house in LA a long time ago. I can't remember, but I think he was someone who I've known for a long time as well. And then you have this crazy bunch of wackos with,
Robert Englund.
Yeah, I'm looking at his claw or his glove is his. I don't know what the official name for it. I'm not
right around Karen's throat where it should be.
See, let me tell you, you almost cut somebody out of the will, right? You almost came to that. So, and your lovely daughter, behind Karen there, and that's you in the far. What convention was this? Was this a creation?
Oh God, no! This was Empire State Comic Con 3 years ago in Albany.
That a boy. And let's go to this one. And of course, this is your wife and you. I love this shot. This is my favorite shot of you two.
Well, you were there. You were right in front of the table for that shot.
Well, I was forced to be there. I could have been watching Saturday morning cartoons, but no, I had to come to your convention. So, and your wedding. So, I'm okay with kidnapping and threats and things of that nature. And of course, your lovely daughter and yourself again. And we're going to talk about your Klingon background in a sec, because you are well known in the world of podcasting as well as other things. You said something about announcement that you had to make, but I'm not ready for that yet. Okay. Got it. I'd rather talk about you first. All right. And here you are again, threatening a member of another genre. Shame on you trying to stir the pot.
He tried to steal my batleth. He deserved it.
Well, that's what they do. You should know that by now. Okay, this is what they do. They steal things, and they're a refuse company. They're a salvage company. You shouldn't have had it within grasp, or you should have at least sharpened it well. Okay, yes. All right, and of course, there's the two of you again. Karen has gotten dressed up as a Klingon before, right?
Karen was an Andorian and Yoda, and she was a Romulan once.
Oh my God, are you kidding? I'm reading messages right now, and okay, thank you. Finger knives, that's what they were, Rose. Thank you so much, sweetheart. She's always on top of things, keeps me in line. This is my favorite picture at all. I'm gonna tell you, man, if I was into men.
That's my senior picture from high school. That's when I started dating Karen, that's what I look like.
Well, I'm telling you, man, if I was into men, dude, oh my God, man, those eyes is what's doing it for me.
Yeah, no glasses either. I could see back then.
And you do have kind of the nerd haircut. I don't know why you got an Eddie Munster point in the front of your head there.
Yeah, but, it was the style back in 1984.
Not for us black guys. No way. No way. Okay. So anyway, Jim, tell us a little bit of what it is you actually do every Thursday night, tomorrow night at 7:30.
Well, I met you through Star Trek.
I'm sorry for that.
And I really love Star Trek, and I really love the message behind Star Trek.
Sorry for that too.
Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. I think we need a lot of that today.
Agreed.
So I got involved in Star Trek conventions and fan clubs and things, and then something wonderful happened. I had a baby, and when Jamie was born, I had to step out of the of my former life and become a father, which was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. But when Jamie grew up, it was time for me to get back into what I enjoyed. So I got back into Star Trek, and much to my surprise, it was a much different world 20 years later. First of all, Star Trek conventions don't exist anymore. They're gone. They died. Now we have multimedia conventions instead, which is sad. Yeah. And so I wanted to give back to the world of Star Trek and try to keep Star Trek alive in my own way. So I started doing a podcast called Trek Talking.
And what year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was in 2015.
Okay. All right. So you're 6 years old.
And I've been doing it every single Thursday since then. And I love it. I think it's my calling. I should have been doing it long ago if we knew podcasts existed. And what's so cool about it is my podcast is live, kind of like this one is. We have a phone number. You call Blog Talk Radio and you come on the air and you talk with me and Charles and Eric live on the radio. And awesome. Of course, it's recorded and you can listen to it. We have listeners, a lot of listeners in the UK,
awesome,
in Ireland, Germany. We have a huge following outside of the United States, which is phenomenal. And we love doing it every Thursday. And so actually tomorrow we're going to be talking about Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about that, give us a call. We'll get you on. Sure. And you can check out our Facebook page, Trek Talking and Beyond. Spell that all out. And shoot me a message and say hi. I love to talk to fans. It's my favorite thing.
Hey, so I'm trying to set something up here. Where am I? Here I am. How do people find you?
Well, there's a bunch of ways. The easiest way is on Facebook at Trek Talking and Beyond. Just spell that out, AND Beyond.
I'm doing it now.
And you can go right to our Facebook page.
All right, that's in small letters, so my apology for that. But
and you can go to blogtalkradio.com/Trek Talking. You can find us there too.
Okay.
You can also find me on Instagram under Trek Talking and also on Twitter.
So for the last 6 years, you've obviously found enough material that you can actually have a pretty coherent conversation for, I'm assuming, an hour is the broadcast?
We do a 2-hour show.
Wow.
And the beginning of the show, we kind of do what I call fan shout outs, where we say hello to our Facebook fans. We shout them out individually by name and city where they come from.
Yes.
And then we go around the globe and we give our global numbers so our listeners know where they're listening from. And then we just introduced a new section where we go by cities, where we break it down by the most listeners we have in the top 10 cities around the globe, which is a lot of fun. And then we do Star Trek birthdays. And then we move on to Star Trek news. And then we'll do the last hour about Star Trek 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is we happen to be talking about. We have guests on, guest callers, guest speakers, authors. We do Book Nook, where we talk about the latest Star Trek books. We just talked about Dark Veil. We do Comic Corner, where we talk about Star Trek in the comics. So we have a lot of Star Trek to talk about, and this is the golden age of Star Trek right now. It's huge. We have Lower Decks, we have Discovery, we have Picard, we have Strange New Worlds coming, we have Prodigy on the way, we have Short Treks, talk of a new movie. So it's a good time to be a Klingon. Yeah,
it's a good time to be a Trek fan. There's so much content on it, and the fact that CBS All Access now and Paramount Plus network, I think one of the main reasons they branched out and made themselves more recognizable is because all of the Trek content that's coming up, not just going back into the catalog of Star Trek series and movies, but they're producing all of it. I am such a huge fan of Lower Decks, for example. I had to warm up to it. It was kind of like watching the first episode, didn't like the animation. I'm like, why is the animation in TV animation series so crappy these days? But the more and more I realize, it's like, you know what? It's no longer the visual that people should pay more attention to. They need to pay attention to the script and the content and even the acting, which is all voice acting from the actors there. I grew into that, and the last episode was such a kick butt episode that I watched it numerous times. So Lower Deck, it grabbed me by the throat and basically said to my face, Mark, wait for it. And I did, and it paid off. It's just a glorious, glorious show. So that's great about you maintaining, basically being a gatekeeper to Star Trek these days with your podcast. I think that's fantabulous. Tell me, what is probably the best, if not worst show you've had?
The worst show I've had, I thought was going to be my best show, but it turned out to be the worst show because I'm a huge Klingon, and I ended up having Robert O'Reilly on the show, who, for those of you who don't know, played Gowron on TNG.
The man.
He also, I also had him at his very, very first Star Trek convention up in upstate New York. He had never done a convention before.
Yeah.
So he showed up there. I also had Charlie Cooper, the late Charlie Cooper, who played.
Yes. Wait a minute. Was I there?
You probably were. You were at all my conventions.
Thank God. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I had Robert O'Reilly on, and I also had General Martok on, J.G. Hertzler.
Sure.
And I thought this was going to be a great show. They're both Klingons. I love them. It's going to be fun, but they hijacked my show.
Well, they're Klingons. I don't know what you were expecting when you invited them in the first place,
Yeah, so they took over, and they just took over the whole show and through the whole thing. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. I couldn't get any phone calls on. None of the fans could answer any questions because they just took over and started talking about the good old days and drinking blood wine and things of that nature. It was still fun.
Obviously, they didn't realize that stuff ain't real. So I don't know what they were thinking. They were amongst, real life people, and they stayed in character, obviously.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they probably screamed for makeup too during that show. So that's pretty cool nonetheless.
It was.
Okay, so we got a lot of time here, so that's good. So that was, you called it your worst show, but it sounded like it's pretty damn entertaining.
It was, but the best show that I ever had, the very first time I interviewed an actor live on the show was Richard Hatch. And
ooh, my buddy.
I grew up on Battlestar Galactica. I love Battlestar Galactica. To this day, I love Battlestar Galactica. And Richard Hatch played Commander Karn in Prelude to Axanar.
And I totally forgot that he did that. But that was a fan-made production, right?
Yes, and I reached out to the guy who filmed it, and I said, hey, look, I'm doing a podcast, and I want to talk to people about Axanar. And he said, well, how about Richard Hatch? And I said, Richard, you mean Apollo from Battlestar Galactica?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so for 2 hours, he was the nicest guy. He was so cordial. He was so warm and friendly and just absolutely awesome. It was great.
You're absolutely right. Out of all the celebs that I've worked with over my 35, 40-year career, there is a handful, probably a little bit more than a handful, that I think are the best in terms of interaction with fans. They don't overblow who they are. They will go over and above meeting and greeting with people. Hell, they'll come up to your room and share a bottle of whiskey if you invite them up. And those guys, the JGs and the O'Reillys and the Hatches, they are absolutely fantastic with fans and perfect convention guests. You get more than your money's worth when you bring these guys. Example, of course, JG and Robert. So, I miss the guy so much. I miss the guy. Rich and I had so much time together. My God, we've even done conventions together in Germany, and I've had so much great memories and times with Richard, both on a public basis and a personal basis. And I really enjoy that. But this is about you, Jim Yager. This is your life. All right.
That's right.
Since I know Karen very well, and I know she's not in the room yet, you can say this stuff. You can go ahead and admit this stuff, okay? What is the worst thing that Karen may totally dislike about you?
Wow.
Maybe I should say, what's the best thing that Karen would dislike about you?
Well, it's a kind of a double. It's a double-sided sword because she hates Star Trek.
Uh-oh.
She hates TOS. She thinks it's cheap and cheesy.
That should have been a deal breaker for marriage.
She doesn't like TOS at all, but she loves TNG. She loves Riker. She thinks Picard is the sexiest thing in the world.
No, Lord.
And so that's cool. She never likes Deep Space Nine, didn't like Voyager, can't stand the new Star Trek except for Star Trek Picard. So yeah, it's Star Trek, but oddly enough, she loves TNG.
Yeah.
And she puts up with me dressing up as a Klingon, even though she hates it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's Star Trek. She thinks I'm too involved in Star Trek. Can you believe that?
Are you asking me? You need
really?
You don't want an answer, right? You don't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
I get it. I mean, that's Karen, and I love her to death, even though she gets on my nerves sometimes too. I get it. But I don't know if people here in the audience know. And once again, guys, this is Mark Knows Everybody, and I appreciate you joining me this evening. We have an incredible guest that's coming up after this incredible guest. But so hang around. We got something really cool and interesting to show you guys. But I want to make the audience know that because of this man, alrighty, I was able to attend the Hollywood, literally California premiere, Los Angeles premiere of Picard. And because I was traveling out to California for Picard, I was invited to, from what I understand, I was the only fan invited to Picard. Listen to me, Patrick Stewart's foot and hand ceremony at the Chinese Theater in the concrete. So that was fabulous, and saw a lot of old friends and a lot of friends from Trek and things. So I would not have attended that had I not gotten an invitation to go and see the premiere, because I didn't know Patrick was getting his cement job that same weekend, and everything just fell into place. So I just let some folks that I know out in LA, let them know that I was going to be out there for that weekend. Didn't know anything about the ceremony until they called me up and said, "Hey, you going to be out here? Well, why don't you join us for and that was incredible. That was incredible in itself. So I had a great weekend, 4 days, however long I was out there in California. But thanks to this man, I got, and you did get your pin that I sent you, right? You did get the stuff I sent you from that?
I got the ticket as well, so thank you.
Perfect. No, it's the least I can do, for God's sakes, And I'm not a souvenir gatherer. I don't collect memorabilia. And if I do, it's just a photo of wherever I am at the time and whoever I'm with at the time of the photo. I have a hoarder's room already. If I collected Trek memorabilia, that's it, man. They'd be they'd be busting up that room, to get all that stuff out. So, okay. So let me ask you, since that was the worst time, was there anything more exciting in your career in conventions and in podcasting that you can tell us about?
Well, I think that for me, the most exciting, the day that sticks in my mind was my wedding day.
Yeah.
And I told you how Karen feels about Star Trek. Imagine telling your future wife you're getting married at a Star Trek convention.
Oh my God.
And then trying to break that news to the family.
Family, yes, we would love for you to come to our wedding, but here's the address.
Yes, but actually, it was a very except for Carl showing up, which was incredible.
Yes, he came to your wedding. Yeah,
it was a really just a normal wedding. People were worried that Klingons were going to be running through there and all this stuff, but it wasn't. Other than Carl showing up,
stupid mundanes, those normal people. Who do they think we are?
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
Someone who still lives in their mom's basement and never kissed a girl before. I don't get it.
I will tell. That was the happiest day of my life. Was that day? But I want to tell you a quick story about that day.
Please.
So I asked my parents, because I got married the weekend of the convention. I couldn't be at the airport to pick up Walter Koenig because he was one of the guests there as well.
Ah, okay.
So I asked my parents, I said, Mom and Dad, can you please go to the Albany airport? Here's the information, and pick up Mr. Chekhov. Okay, the dude from Star Trek. Okay, you know what he looks like. He's going to be at gate whatever at whatever time. Please go and pick him up and bring him back here. I cannot get away to do it, and I don't trust anybody else doing this. So can you please do this for me? So, of course, my parents said, oh, yeah. What a mistake that was. My parents went to get Walter. They pick him up. They bring him back to the hotel. Now, my parents hate Star Trek. The only thing about Star Trek they like is the whale movie. So that's all they know. The one with the whales. They're on the elevator bringing him up to his room. And Walter says to my mother, yeah, I heard a bunch of crackpots got married at the convention. Oh, my God. My mother went off on him in the elevator like there was no... I had to apologize to him the next day.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because my mother went off on me because I was a crackpot getting married at a Star Trek convention. And then Walter mentioned it to her, and she went off on him. So that was kind of humorous.
Oh, my God. Well, that's in the history books now, and something you guys will never forget. It's a story you can tell your grandchildren when you have some. And, of course, they're going to say, who's Walter Koenig? You know? Yep. And that's how it all starts. That's how children get to conventions in the first place. So anyway, so our friends online here are saying, uh-oh, because you just told that story. And Rose says she loves her. Yes, Richard is unbelievable. So that's great. Okay, so we got one last question for you. And I always ask this of my guests at the end, and then we're going to go ahead and bring on our next guest. And you might want to see my face for this. So
that sweet, sexy face.
Careful. Unless you get some really big bumps on your chest, don't even try it.
Okay, I'm a Klingon.
Yeah. Oh, bath, water, detergent, soap. If you thought really long and hard, and don't think too long, if there was one thing that no one knows about you, or, whether it's an incident or whether it's something personal, like a big wart on your butt, if there was one thing about you that you could comfortably tell the audience that you have experienced in your life, what would it be?
Well, okay, I'm going to make the announcement right now.
There you go.
I don't drink. Alcohol has never touched these lips except for champagne at my wedding.
Wait. But that's not the announcement you were going to make.
No, but
okay, hold on. Then we'll stick with this.
I do not drink. I never have. I don't need to drink to have a great time.
I understand.
Okay,
and I feel the same way.
So here we are at the premiere for Star Trek 6. And after the movie's over, we all go out to the ground round and we're having chicken wings and we're having a good time. And the manager of the restaurant comes over and tells me that I have to leave because I've had too much to drink and I'm drunk and rowdy, and escorts me out of the restaurant.
What?
And I've never had a drink. I've never been accused of being drunk, disorderly. Well, it might have been because I was dressed up as a Klingon and I was waving my bat'leth around a lot. Maybe a lot of the mundanes in the restaurant got upset.
That might do it. That might do it. Yeah.
But I got escorted out for being drunk and disorderly, and I've never drank a drink in my life. So that's something that nobody knows.
Well, that's both admirable and fascinating, because we were both in the convention, and we're from the early days of the convention where in the evenings everybody gathered at the hotel bar, and the stars would come down and gather around the hotel bar, and of course there's libations all over the place, and alcohol flowing, and wild women. and you were sane through all of that.
Well, someone had to be the designated driver. We had those back then.
Yeah, I get it, but that's only one occasion. It's not that you were being designated forever. Okay, so that's admirable.
Right.
It's no way is it a mark against you. I'm not looking at you any differently. Actually, I'm looking at you a little better now because of that. Because that's fantastic. Because typically people who don't drink are the ones that drank too much previously, had got them in trouble in legal work, and now they don't drink. But you never even started.
No, and you know, I say that for this reason. I think that people should be who they want to be and who they're meant to be, and nobody should be pressured into being someone they're not or doing something they're not comfortable doing just because the rest of the crowd is doing it. If I'm at a bar and people are drinking, knock yourself out.
Right.
But I choose not to, and some people can't handle that.
Right. I feel the same way, buddy. And I don't need alcohol either to make myself happy or have a great time or act foolish, act crazy. I don't need any of that stuff. It's in my DNA. But I'll match a revelation to your revelation. People may not know or even care, but I've never had a cigarette touch my lips ever in my entire life. So
me neither.
That's great, man. All right. Last thing is this announcement. So I'm going to go ahead and put you up on the big screen, get you all geared up. I don't have any music to accompany you.
No. So as you guys know from the last time I was on, Creation Entertainment invited my podcast down to the Star Trek 55-year mission to do a live broadcast from there, which is huge for us and for me. And we're trying to raise some money to make that happen because COVID's been tough on us. So if any of your listeners can help us out to get there, we're actually somewhere over Wisconsin right now. We still got quite a ways to go to get from New York to Vegas.
Explain to them what you're talking about. Obviously, you've created a charting line on a graph of the United States leading to the convention site. So the money that is donated pushes the line even closer to its destination. Is that correct?
Correct. You can go to our fundraiser. It's under Jim Yager, but you can find it on our Truck Talking page. And what I did is I put a line across the United States from Albany, New York to Las Vegas, Nevada. And right now we're somewhere over Wisconsin.
When is the date of that?
It's August 11th.
Okay.
And we're just about halfway there. So we really could use some help. And you know what's great about it is the Star Trek fandom is so huge and they're so dedicated and there's but Star Trek fans are the best fans. Don't ever forget that, because that is true. And if
you're not saying this because you want money out of them, right?
No.
Honestly,
if you've listened to my podcast, I have said that numerous times on the podcast. Star Trek fans are just great people. They get it. They just understand. They get it. And Star Trek fans are just the best. So much better than fans of that other franchise, but that's a different story. But anyways, so I put up a map showing how far we are. We're over Wisconsin right now. And all it takes is $1, really. If we have 53,000 followers on our Facebook page, if a small fraction of those people could just put in $1, it'll happen. So you can go to our fundraiser and you can find it on our Trek Talking and Beyond Facebook page and make $1 donation, make whatever you can. But if you can't make a financial donation, you can help us by sharing it. And the more you share it, the more people will see it, the more people might donate and help us to get there. So
basically just go to your Trek Talking Facebook page and all the information is there.
Everything is there, yes.
Yeah.
But
so people can go ahead.
That's not the announcement I wanted to make. The announcement I wanted to make is tied into that. Because we got invited there. I got another invitation. I got an email from Pine Bush, New York, which is outside of New York City. It's the area 51 of the East Coast, which I didn't even know one existed.
That's interesting.
Neither did I.
What the hell, man?
But apparently, Pine Bush, New York is the UFO center of the East. And back in the in the 70s and 80s, they had thousands and thousands of UFO sightings there.
Wait a minute. So UFOs wanted to visit New York?
Yes. There's Pine Bush, New York, which is about an hour and 45 minutes north of New York City. Anyways, I got an email from this lady, and she wants us to come down there to their UFO festival, which is on Labor Day weekend. And there's another story that I got to tell you about that.
Okay.
Labor Day weekend, and they're opening up a UFO and paranormal museum. They're having a parade. This is their 9th year of doing this festival. And Darth Vader and his stormtroopers are going to be there. Ooh. And I said, whoa, well, okay, well, then Uncle Jim the Klingon's got to be there too. And she said she'd love to have a Klingon there. So we're going to be there on Saturday, the August 4th, broadcasting live. Now, remember when I told you that Karen doesn't like Star Trek, and I really had to talk her into going to a Star Trek convention for our wedding?
Yes.
Do you happen to remember the date of that convention?
Obviously it's falling on the same date as that UFO event.
Bingo. So I said to Karen, so
this is your anniversary trip?
Yes.
You're such a great partner. Not only do you tell everyone that your wedding is going to be at a Star Trek convention, but you're now going to celebrate your anniversary as something else she probably doesn't like.
Yeah, I had to break it to her, and it had to be very delicate about this. And so I said, hey, how'd you like to go to UFO Festival for our wedding anniversary? And I got the look. You're not married, Mark, so you don't know the look.
I'm blessed. Yes, I am blessed. You're right.
Anybody out there who's listening and watching right now who is married knows the look. That look that burns right through your skull.
Right.
Oh, God. And so I thought I was going to have to call back the woman and cancel. But my wife, Karen, is the best. She puts up with me being a Klingon, everything. So she went online.
You gotta sleep with your eyes open, dude. You may think she's the best, but I'm telling you, sleep with your eyes open.
I better lock up my bat lift tonight. But Karen went online, watched some videos on this festival, and read some articles in the New York Times, the New York Post, and various things. And she said to me, this looks like this is going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it'll be something different and something new that we've never tried before. And we've done Star Trek conventions, we've done Comic-Cons, we've done all these things. So she agreed to allow me to go. And so we're going to be at the Pine Bush UFO Festival on Saturday, August 4th. So that'll be a lot of fun. And we don't need any money for that one, because we're just going to get in our car and drive there.
I think you honestly should check in with me every hour. Okay, just saying, but just to make sure you're okay and everything. Jim, this has been fantastic. I'm glad you joined us. We're happy. I'm happy that you're my friend. We've been friends since, what are we saying, 91?
Well, I actually met you before that down in New York City at the Thanksgiving convention by Creation. You were doing the Michael Dorn fan club, and I was there as a Klingon. That was actually the first time I met you. But we weren't on a first name basis at that point. I saw you a couple of times down at the Maryland conventions, and that's pretty much like in 1990 or so is when I started to become a first name basis. So by 91, I invited you to our convention / wedding.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even know if it was a wedding happening there when you told me, when you invited me. So,
well, you found out when you got there.
Well, I was happy to be there as your host for that event. That was fantastic. That was probably my first invitation. I'm not sure if that was before all the Sea Trek cruises I hosted or after. I don't know. I'm telling you, I brain fart. I think I was doing Sea Trek since '87.
I think it was right before, because Sea Trek 91 happened before our convention, and we went on that. Well, not with you, but we went on that, and you were there, and we hung out a lot on that cruise, and that's where we met Carl Strachan and invited him to our wedding. Well, to the
Gotcha.
convention, which turned out to be our wedding.
Gotcha. Hey, Jim, I'm gonna let you go so we can get to
All
our
right.
next guest here. It's been an absolute pleasure. You can either stay in the lobby and continue to watch this, or go about your business. You're not hurting us at all, because what people don't realize that if you know friends who can't watch tonight's broadcast, this is on YouTube and you can watch it anytime you want. So this is not the first and the end and it's gone. No, you can call it up on YouTube, and you will have the opportunity of listening to Jim's fallacies and his obvious hatred for his wife, and and family members that he invite to Star Trek conventions to witness a wedding. So
Well, you know what, Mark?
What?
I can never get Karen to come on my podcast. Since 2015, she'll walk in, she'll blab something in the background and leave. When we were on your show up at camp, was that 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yes.
You were able to get, not only did you get her on, but she came on camera with me.
Hey, what can I say? What can I say?
She never, ever, ever comes on my show, but she came on yours.
Jim. Okay. Women are vindictive and they have memories like elephants. Okay. So if she is doing something that you don't understand, is because she's remembering something from 55,000 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't, just eggshells. You got to do the eggshells. Okay. So be careful, buddy boy. I'm going to toss you. I'm going to
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you to all your listeners and everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and chat with you a little bit. And I'm going to go see what's going on with my wife. It's awful quiet in the other room.
Be careful how you turn corners. Baseball bats hurt. Okay,
and when it's quiet, that's never a good thing.
Okay, all right. You might want to keep the mic on while you're off air. Just so I'm a witness, I can testify. Well, I don't know how he's gone missing. He was just on my show tonight. So,
thank you very much for having me on, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Buddy boy, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by.
I'm GW Pomacher.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
I'm Brava.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million and 10 million and 100 million.
On HWWS.
Web TV.
You really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
That go into the Ripley's Believe It or Not museums. Today, we are here to watch somebody go through the actual process of having their body molded. So we're going to go and check out the vampire woman being immortalized today.
We've never done a wax figure through a translating team, which is very difficult for the photographers, for the sculptors not to be able to talk to who they're working on. But Maria is literally one of a kind. She's probably the world's most unusual woman.
Where did you find Maria? How did you discover her and then decide to bring her likeness over to Ripley's?
Well, we had a report of her. We actually have a museum in Guadalajara, Mexico, where she's from. And we had people working for us in Guadalajara that had originally told us about her. So it wasn't until about 3 months later that we actually met her. And we had just done Eric Sprague, the Lizard Man, and we're looking for an unusual woman to go with the most unusual man. And it was a no-brainer.
Your look is very unique. It's incredibly unique. Did you model yourself after any fictional vampires, or how did you come up with this specific look?
Mira, en realidad nunca ha sido como que el afán de parecerte tanto a un vampiro. Simplemente lo que ves es mi imagen propia, creada por mí. Y bueno, la asimilan como la mujer vampiro.
What do you hope people will feel or think about you when they see your likeness at Ripley's?
Bueno, a mí me encanta porque es trascender, de alguna manera, la inmortalidad. Bueno, tú sabes, Ripley es algo que todo el mundo conoce. Y bueno, yo estoy encantada de esto y más que nada de ser perpetuo eternamente contando una historia.
We spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours with her yesterday and seems to be perfectly normal. She has a dark sense of humor and a little bit of gothic clothing going on, obviously. She's intelligent, she's clever, she's very artistic. She makes all her own costumes, all her own jewelry, and she's got a sweetheart.
So I heard you say earlier that Maria's likeness is going to be in Orlando first. And where will she follow? Where will people be able to see her after that?
And we hope to get 3 figures into Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Veracruz, probably pretty quick after. Once they make the first one, the second, third, and fourth go pretty easy.
Well, we're with Orlando Attractions Magazine, so I would be a terrible reporter if I didn't ask you, are you going to go to any theme parks while you're in town?
En el tiempo que vas a estar aquí, ¿piensas ir a algún parque de atracciones como los parques de Disney, Epcot y esos sitios? Me hubiera gustado, pero vengo con muy poco tiempo, ya que tengo muchos compromisos ahorita en varias partes. Sí,
You sing your name. Tell me you can't hear anything.
Hey, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, you're on mute.
All that time I was talking, I was muted. Man, all those nice things that I said about you, it didn't rate at all. I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Your volume's a little low. I don't know, because you're probably on the laptop and the mic is coming from the camera in the laptop, right?
I'm actually using a plugged-in mic. See, this is my own fault because
okay.
if I would have been here on time. So
yeah, we went through that already. You don't have to drum up the past anymore, okay?
That's better.
Ooh, that sounds better. Say something.
Hello, welcome to this podcast.
Bravo, you pulled that cheap piece of crap out, didn't you?
I always do. That's all I have.
I knew it. That's what you get for shopping Kmart. They're not in business anymore, so I don't know why you're patronizing them. I love this. Oh, that's the mic you're using?
Yeah, it was.
And it sucked? Oh my God. Okay. Look, I just saw this today, by the way, this evening as I got home from work. I'm like, and I downloaded that program myself, so I haven't done myself yet. I forget what it's called. Audrey, how are you, sweetheart?
Oh, I'm so good. How are you?
I am. Are you in a closet? What the hell is that?
No, I'm in my boyfriend's office area. So there's, collectibles and comics and board games. And I thought it would be a good vibe.
Well, wait a minute. What kind of office is that?
Okay, I guess it's more of a kitchen. I don't know why I said office. It was a weird impulse.
Wait a minute. This is your boyfriend's kitchen?
A dining room next to the kitchen. There's like a fireplace. It's
okay. The dude needs to move. Okay, I'm sorry because that sucks. All right, if that's what he need to ask for a raise, he can get $15 an hour now from what I understand. But we're okay. Screw your boyfriend's kitchen. Okay, it already sucks. I don't even see a sink, so that's terrible. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Audrey Brown. Audrey Brown, believe it or not, and I didn't have time to. Oh, wait a minute. I went all through your site today, and I found that clip, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd that come from? And I said, whoa, that's perfect. You sent me a bio, which I'm gonna try and dig up real quick. Okay, so all right. So this is from Audrey, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna read this on my other monitor here, but this is from her words. Okay, her typing. If I ad lib, then you'll know when I'm ad libbing, because the rest of this stuff is pretty pathetic. All right, so I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm a nerd. A big one. I write screenplays, comics, and essays, but I have a deep, dark past in magazines. Print ones. Remember those? Egon was right. Egon. If people know who Egon is from, yeah, who you gonna call? I have my MA in creative writing, and I've sold 2 screenplays, both horror and a one-step deal. My work has appeared in Geek Monthly, on air via public radio, and on screen at the Los Angeles Comedy Festival. I've contributed to sites like Hello Giggles, Geek Monthly, and Fangirl Blog. Most recently, I received excellent coverage for my feature film script, Ruthie, from the Bentonville Film Festival. Okay, but for real, a little work talk. I've also written and directed creative concepts, live shows, presentations, and video scripts for large corporate and not-for-profit clients. I also spent 3 years in the simulations industry designing and performing client intake, orientation, conflict resolution, and training scenarios for the United States Navy, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, ETS, and more.
She brags. What a bragger. My God.
Yeah, but I'm not done. This was a lot, wasn't it? For my imposter syndrome and your patience, period. We did great. If you ever want to work together or just talk creativity, I'll buy you a pint for all the work you just did. Bravo. I like that. Bribing the audience. Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I owe you a pint now, too.
Yeah, you do. You also owe me 5 years off my life. But anyway, so that was fat. Audrey, how did we meet? How did you get on my friends list?
I'm so excited to tell you the story because it's very complimentary to Jim's episode. Everything that he said, I had a story to follow. You and I met at Away Mission Orlando 2011. I was a reporter at the time and you were a host, and I was standing in the back, I think in between like shows on stage, and I was doing an intro segment, and you just like confidently walked right up to me and my producer and my cameraman, and we just talked. We stopped doing what we were doing so that I could just hang out with you. And it was so much fun, and we've just been connected ever since. So it's a Star Trek connection, just like with Jim.
I remember now. I remember. Oh my God, do I remember. Was that the Patrick Stewart con?
Yes, it was. That's why we were there, to stalk Patrick Stewart. Not gonna lie.
Did you get time with him?
You know, I had the opportunity and I flaked.
I was about to say, if I didn't introduce Patrick to you, that's my apologies, but obviously you're so good, you did that on your own and you screwed it up. So we're gonna tear up this bio because it's fake. We know that's fake news that I just read here, because there's no way you could have lost confidence in doing your job when Patrick Stewart is standing in front of you.
But I love him so much. It was such an overwhelming moment. We got, ushered into the room. We had our press badges and everything. And my producer was like, just go talk to him. You're press. You have the badge. And I was like, I can't. And so the best I could do, I was like 2 feet away from him. And he was being walked up to me so I could interview him. And I freaked out and fangirled out. And I said, I love you. And then I hid behind my cameraman. And he looked at my cameraman and thought my cameraman said it. It was
my God. That's and then you look like this throughout the rest of the evening or afternoon or whatever. And I can understand that, if your hair took a blitz like that, then Patrick probably definitely would have shied away from you.
My natural hair is more of a fright wig, really. So I have to do a lot of work to flatten it.
Oh, this is not a wig, woman. What are you talking about?
That is my real. Actually, that was Ghostbusters hair. That was when I was cosplaying Zool. So I was trying to do the 80s thing.
Oh, got it. Okay, well, that's a beautiful shot below the hairline. But other than that, you are fabulous. I'm so happy that you're on the show. You knew I wanted to get you on it. Look, I can't do that anymore because I cut the fro off. But anyway, you knew I wanted to get you on this show because you are, in fact, one of my fascinating. All of my friends are fascinating, but you have a story to tell. How did you get into this? What's up? Is this a BA? I know you said you had an MA, but that's Master of Arts. Is that in fact Masters of Arts? You have a Master's in Art?
Yeah, it's creative writing, which, as we all know, is the most lucrative field in which to get a degree. No, I'm broke. I do have a master's. It did come in handy though. It's great if you have imposter syndrome and you're insecure because you can be like, I have a master's before you go cry in the closet about feeling like a loser. So I highly recommend it.
I'm sorry. I'm still getting rid of my little cold here. So my apologies for coughing on air. So the clip that we showed, you were representing Attractions magazine, correct?
Yes, one of my favorite gigs of all time. I had started a web series. It was actually the first ever web series about theme parks. This was in the ancient times in 2009. And we did that for a couple of years. We made some content for Kings Island in Ohio. And then we started doing a couple of pilot episodes for Orlando Attractions magazine. We did a Busch Gardens episode, a Mickey's Not So Scary. So we did some pilots for them. They went on and started their own show, which is a good thing. And then I ended up moving to Florida. Their director quit. And so I ended up getting to pilot that ship for a little while and write and direct the show. And I would correspond as a reporter when we couldn't get any real actors to fill in, real reporters who wouldn't run away from Patrick Stewart. So I'm mostly a writer and director, but I can correspond if I need to.
Well, you have a great website here. You got a lot of accolades to your name, and I'm thoroughly impressed. I went on the video aspect of all of this and saw some of the things that were password. Is this you actually in this video?
That is me, yes. And again, it was a budget issue. I was like, well, I can do it for $0 and save the $600 SAG fee. So
oh my God, you sold yourself cheap. Look at you. I don't know if I still have sound.
Thai, please, for dinner.
I could do Thai.
Ooh, great idea. And you could earn bonus points on that Thai.
Get 5,000 bonus points on a Visa Platinum card when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days.
What's that?
It's Jerry from Capcom. Only from your biggest fan, Capcom Federal Credit Union.
My God, you're so photogenic.
Thank you.
That was freaking awesome. I enjoy that. But you have a lot of interesting videos here, but I noticed a lot of them because we're going to get into the directing and writing part of this, but a lot of these are password protected. Tell me about this clip. And I actually attended a couple years of IAPA because of my profession. And my firm, the architectural firm I was working for, got all free tickets to attend. And if people doesn't know what IAPA is, it's the International Amusement and Parks something.
Very close. International Association of, oh no, I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah, no, you got it wrong, huh?
International Association of oh boy. It's
International Association of Amusement and Parks?
Yes, no. Attractions.
Whatever. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is a convention mainly for people who run, own, operate, sell to, buy from amusement parks, theme parks, amusement parks. And what they do, they take the Orange County Convention Center in downtown Orlando, and not only do they set up inside like a normal convention with booths and things of that nature, but they set up the whole back parking lot with rides, roller coasters, carousels, anything you can name, anything that they are pushing to sell to countries, to cities, whatever, that are building or are changing out rides in their amusement parks. It is the most fun. As soon as you walk into the convention center, it's caramel popcorn smell all over the place. It's cotton candy smell all over the place. You get samples like crazy. I think it's the second best convention that I have been to, next to the McDonald's convention. Okay, the McDonald's convention is out of this world as well, and they bring in actors, Morgan Freeman, who's that? Not what country star Chesney, or was it Keith Urban, whatever. And that's fantastic. But this is just all about games. So let me just play just a little bit, guys, so you can get, since this isn't gonna piss off the owners because you got it wide and open for the public. The rest
I know,
of
I was about to say, I'm gonna get
look at this.
That was supposed to be password protected too.
What the hell are you even having on your site for if nobody can watch it? It's all password protected.
Well, I used to be a free agent, and now I have like a full-time job. So I did all of the IAPA work. I worked for 3 years with an incredible company named Odyssey Creative, one of the greatest jobs I've ever had. They allowed me to write, to direct, to coach. It was an incredible gig. And a big part of my job for those 3 years was working on the opening video for IAPA for the kickoff ceremony. And so, the first year we did what very much like a travel show. The second year was, I don't remember what. And the third year was this beautiful documentary where instead of having one kickoff video, we I'm proud to say I came up with the idea of doing like the arc of a day. So at the beginning of the convention, we showed what it was like for a theme park to open. In the middle of the convention, we showed a video of what it was like to see the park operating at high capacity. And at the end, we showed closing time. So my big thing in my job, in my work life, is bringing story to things. So I was able to outline this sort of documentary, even maybe create some potential sound bites, and then an incredible crew and our incredible director, Mark Collins, our DP, Ben Mesker, traveled all over the world making this happen. So that's the story. This was awesome to see. Being a former employee of Universal Studios, I've always, I've seen many times the park before it opens, the park long hours after it was closed. I've worked till midnight. They're filming. I remember I had like a 3:30 call for the Today Show who was coming in, who was actually coming to Universal next week, I do believe. But we're there 3:30 in the morning because we have to set up barricades and do a lot of prep work for the Today Show alone. And when I saw this video, it just brought back so many freaking memories for me. I have literally photos of an entire empty park down New York Avenue at Universal. I was in the middle of Harry Potter when it was only me standing in the middle of Harry Potter. And it's such a great gig I had working for theme parks. So guys, watch this for a few, as long as we can. And we'll get back because we have a couple writers who have some questions for you guys. Once again, we have Audrey Brown on this show. Mark knows everybody, and it's not because I didn't find Audrey going through a publisher or an agent or anything. This show is all about my personal friends, people that I know who have careers that other people who are my friends probably had no clue. So you are being introduced each and every week. And I think I've already been through, this is what, the 8th show or something. So 16 to 20 people already on this show, and you've learned a lot about what they do. Take a look at this because I was enchanted watching it. Oh no, you're mute again.
I personally muted this. I'm going to stop this because someone said I lost the sound. Could you hear it, Audrey?
I could not hear it, but I thought it was because it was like that.
I know why, and I have to keep remembering to do this. There is a little box when I share this screen that says share audio also, and I always forget to click it. So stand by, guys. You're going to love this because I happen to love it as well. There's that little click that I need to hit. You're going to get the audio now. And I want you to watch this again from the beginning because you got to just listen to it.
It's really nice to get here early because it's quiet and you can actually do your work a little bit better.
It's very calm and refreshing in the morning.
You get to collect yourself before you go out into the park and see the guests.
The sounds of nature in the morning are really nice.
I am a morning person. I like to come to work in the morning.
You definitely notice the quiet. It's just nice to have that one-on-one time with your animals.
It's a much different vibe. In a way, it's like really zen. Because you know in just a few hours, thousands of people are going to be here and they're going to just be having this amazing experience.
Every morning before opening, we walk the park, making sure everything looks in place.
You got people cleaning up. You got the actors getting ready for their shows. Everybody opening up their shops.
To be ready with the products in the restaurants.
Our team, they start right away with getting lined up. We usually have an estimated count of what we're going to work with.
We can plan and see what we need to do and get everything stocked.
First thing in the day is we test all the rides. So we go through working with maintenance, make sure all the rides are ready to go for the guests.
We check our trains out in the mornings. We also walk our track, just making sure everything is safe and everything's secure.
We really like to make sure everything is nice and neat and show ready before guests come in.
Walk throughout the park, check on all the plants, all the flowers, make sure everything is done perfect, and get it ready for our guests.
Everyone's working together as a team. Everyone takes that ownership. It's their park. They're ready to open up the park.
And we all really have to work with each other as a community in order to give the best guest experience that we can.
Everybody's excited to see each other again. Our team is like a family, and we get everybody ready to get our guests included in that family.
Working with a great team is just amazing. You know, it's it wouldn't work if you did it single-handedly, and you got to rely on everybody. But at the end of the day, you know, it's great to have that camaraderie and getting it all done together.
The joy to see families enjoying themselves, to see that spark when someone gets it or gets inspired or gets excited, it's a rush. It's a true rush.
Oh no, you're mute again.
And again, Mother of God. Did you only screenwrite this?
Yeah, I mostly did the outline. It was the big picture, the big idea, because, you know, when you're working with testimonials, it's very hard. You can't really script those in advance. So you have to write the questions in such a way that you will get the answers that you need. So That's mostly what I did is the outline, the big picture, and all of the questions for the interviewees.
Right. Well, that's you did a great job on this piece. It's wonderful. And I've noticed you filmed this over a number of different parks. I saw Busch Gardens in there, Adventure Island in there. I saw Dollywood in there. I'm like, oh my God, how many parks were involved in this?
Well, they trekked across. I mean, I think they were in Mexico at one point even.
I saw Spanish on the back of one of the attendees' vest or outfit. Yeah.
It was the saddest thing is I was actually working at a museum at the time. So I wasn't even able to be on the shoot. So the shoot that I would have wanted to most be on in my whole entire life, and I was at a museum doing other writing work for this museum, so I missed it. But Mark Collins and Ben Mesker knocked it out of the park.
Sure, but you still saw the product. They still brought the product back to you, and you had to edit it all together and compose it and whatever. And I thought that's a fabulous job. That's wonderful. I'm gonna dig a little bit in your background in a minute. But my friends here, friends who you should know and meet, guys, ask a question, especially my good girl Rosemarie. She asked, do you ever deal with writer's block? If so, how do you overcome it?
That's a great question. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't deal with writer's block. I kind of have the opposite problem. Just full disclosure, I'm very attention deficit. And so I have a lot of ideas. My problem is the opposite. My problem is paying attention to one idea long enough to finish something. But I believe if you encounter writer's block, the most important thing to do is journal. You need to be journaling about your life if you're a writer every day. Just say anything and everything, even the most mundane, because those thoughts that are running through your head about your day-to-day life can block your creativity. So you need to sort of uncork that bottle in order to prevent writer's block. The second thing is to give yourself homework assignments. And if you can't think of anything, ask for writing prompts. You can even go on Facebook and say, hey guys, what should I write about? And your friends will come up with the most random stuff. They'll say, oh, what was your favorite day? Tell me about your favorite movie. And it's just really important to write about anything that you can think of, because what you'll find is you have more to say than you think you do. So journal and ask people, what should I write about?
Wow, that's fantastic. I hope I'm not muted, but that's great advice. Lorraine does have a question. She basically said, I have a BA in creative writing and have imposter syndrome in droves. I empathize. Explain a little bit of this imposter syndrome. Does it relate to boasting, lying? Does it equate to literally character assassination of yourself? What is this imposter syndrome you're talking about?
You just pretty eloquently described it. Yeah, imposter syndrome is where you feel like a liar. You feel like you're not good enough. And so what you do is you set these hurdles for yourself and you go, I'm not a real writer until I sell a screenplay. I'm not a real writer until I get published in a magazine or I get a degree or whatever. When the truth is, we're all real whatevers. Nobody gets to tell you what you really are or aren't. But I have a theory. I don't want to start a fight on the internet or anything, but I think sometimes, I'm going to say it. When you're a woman, you do very frequently, as you go up in the world professionally, you do get unintentionally or intentionally knocked down and squelched. And so people will go, oh, well, if you don't have a degree or whatever, come back when you have a degree, and you are minimized a lot. And so I think a lot of imposter syndrome is something that we internalize as female professionals. And once it's in there, it's kind of in there. And so it's just your job to wait for the waves to come in and out and be productive anyway. So I sympathize with you also. It's hard. It's a real part of life. And, Jack White of the White Stripes has this really amazing quote where he says, people will tell you that you can't. You have to just turn around and say, watch me. And that's the only solution. And even if you feel like a liar when you're doing it, do it anyway. It's the only way.
Wow. That's great advice. I like that. I've never actually heard of the syndrome before. So it actually has awakened me of that. It also makes me very suspicious, but then again, I've always been suspicious of people that talk a little bit too much of themselves, or they, oh my God, Rose, are you listening? This doesn't refer to Rose, but Rose and I have had this conversation before, and basically people who feel they need to compete. And in doing so, they want to tell us what it is they have done, who they have met, where they have been, and nobody asked. You know, it's almost like if someone has said, well, you know, I have an MA in communications. I have a bachelor's in architecture. You know, I was just talking to Patrick Stewart the other day, and it's not an intentional name drop. It's literally saying, I have spoken to a person recently. I just happened to tell you his name. And now you're upset because you think I'm name dropping. And they feel, well, they have to now outdo me. You know, it's like, oh no, I've met the man too. I remember that one time, you know, I came this close to Patrick Stewart, and I freaked, and I huddled behind my cameraman, and it just didn't work. You know, I've come across people like that, and you don't have to do that. You know, more assertiveness. I think if they were more comfortable with their inner self, they would really go out and talk, perform, or whatever the way that they were intended to be, their true self, no imitation of anything. This is who the person is. So it's interesting that syndrome actually exists. Let me ask you a question about your education. So obviously the school that you went to, and I forget, I had your bio up on the screen. What was the school that you attended? Where'd you go for your MA?
Ball State University.
Oh, Ball State. Interesting. Oh, okay. Where are you originally? Because you did mention, then I moved to Florida. From where?
I was born and raised in Indiana.
Okay.
My education, moved to Florida, and I'm actually back in Indiana right now.
For what reason?
I'm on a secret work mission for my current company. We're going to try to expand into the convention scene here, and it's not so secret anymore, is it?
I was about to say, if it's so secret, why are you still talking? But no. Wow. So this is something that is for a client and won't be, can we see this later, or what's the deal?
You'll see a lot of things later, but it'll be much later. Yeah, there's a lot here. Our VP of finance already lived here. And as you probably know, Indianapolis is a huge convention town. And it's,
oh my God, yes.
It's a rising city. There's a lot happening here in the arts. And so, you know, it's a great opportunity for our company. And it was a great opportunity for me to come home and bring the adventure home, I hope.
How long have you been there?
Gosh, I moved right at the start of the pandemic. So I've been back. So
you're there permanently?
As of right now, I think so. It's looking pretty permanent. Yeah.
Well, until winter comes around, and you'll be back here quick.
Well, I still travel a lot. So that's what's nice is I can get out. I can experience all kinds of different weather. So that's a nice thing. I did just move to Indianapolis proper though in March. I'm downtown. I am where it's all happening. I'm near this really great city called Carmel, which is where a lot of arts things are happening.
Oh,
so
cool. I love that. I love big cities, and I love the art community in big cities. I really do. That's fantastic. Audrey, you obviously are looking to, well, no, I'm going to ask you, what are you looking for? But in terms of your career and what you're doing, where would you like to see your career go?
I love this question so much. It's twofold. My answer is twofold. I want to succeed for my company and continue succeeding for my company. I'm a very loyal person and they've given me a lot. And so I want to, as I said, break the convention scene here in Indianapolis. Personally, my entire life has been about theme parks and attractions, my entire life.
Yeah.
I would like to start my own attraction. It's going to be very small scale. It's kind of a one-on-one immersive entertainment experience. I formed an LLC to do this. So I'm headed into hopefully being able to bring my own attraction to IAPA someday as a creator, and they can go, oh, you used to do our videos and now you created this entertainment experience right in Indiana.
That's fantastic. Would it be anything like the, what are those rooms called these days?
Yes, those are called escape rooms.
Escape rooms, thank you.
It's very similar to that in the sense that it's a one-on-one experience. And I know immersive is such an annoying buzzword, but it's kind of like a way to translate to people. So
yeah. I also hate interactive too. I hate that word as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's overused. And so it's like, it's hard to explain, but imagine being able to go into like the old school fortune teller's tent, but have a very different, very personal, very entertaining experience. I have written several experiences. One is tell your own fortune. So instead of talking to a fortune teller, you're telling your own future. Another one is called The Question. Another one is called The Argument. And they sound very simple, but they're very fun. Or if you're in a bad mood, they could be the worst thing ever. So I'm going to offer refunds.
I'm going to give you an idea. No, in fact, no, I'm a businessman. I'm going to sell you an idea, okay? Based on what it is you want to do. It's fantastic. But let's say the guest at in this attraction is walking through whatever. They come to a room, and that whole room is a seance room. You get to sit around the table, maybe 6 people. You got maybe an animatronic. What do you call them? They read tarot cards, maybe an animatronic tarot card reader, and summons up the dead, and then all these holographic projections around you, much like the Haunted Mansion when you're in it, are swirling around you as you're sitting in the room. The table is vibrating. It gets cold. You know, all that kind of stuff can happen in, okay, $20. I'll give you.
I'll definitely buy that from you. You know, 10 years ago, I had this idea for an attraction called The Box that was just a plexiglass box that would be dropped around you, and you would be trapped while the monsters were trying to get in and around you. Obviously, it was a little oversimplified, so it never got anywhere, but I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I like it a lot.
Awesome. TM, you know, you put my name down at the bottom or something, and I'll be satisfied. I'm okay, but that's something like that. Okay, so we've had you here longer than we expected, but only because we went over on our first guest, and we're just excited to have you here. We're having a good time right now, but I'm not going to hold you to that. You're 2 hours behind us, so it's 7:54.
Actually, it's 9, so I think it's the same.
You're Indiana's in the same time zone?
Yeah. 8:54 p.m.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. What has been your personal favorite park or ride?
I love it so much. My favorite park. No, I'm going to go favorite ride first. Haunted Mansion, hands down. Haunted Mansion, forever, for life. It was my favorite as a child. I dream about it. I think about it. Haunted Mansion all the way.
Have you ever been to Haunted Mansion before the renovations?
Yeah.
I remember you've seen the classic track. You've seen the classic presentation.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. So
I remember the good old days.
That's perfect. So you've seen the 2. That's fantastic. Go ahead.
My favorite park, I'm going to, my imposter syndrome is going to jump out because I'm going to make it about me. Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios. I got to work there for 2 years. My park. That park. I got to work in entertainment there for 2 years. And so part of that documentary that I worked on came from arriving at the park before it opened, leaving after it closed, and Islands of Adventure all the way forever.
What year were you in entertainment?
I was in 2013 and 2014.
Wow. I started in 2010 and resigned in 2018. So who knows? We could have crossed each other. I don't know if you were entertainment, but where were you in entertainment? Were you a performer?
I was a performer. I'm sure you know the rules, so I'll just tell you I was friends with Betty Lou Who at Grinchmas.
Got it. Absolutely. Well, good for you. And I've been to Grinch shows before, and of course when Betty's in the park or whatever, because our office is almost right at that intersection, you know, at Hollywood and yeah.
Just pure joy, pure populism, color, fun, Christmas, singing, dancing, everything that's good about life was involved in Betty's life at that time.
Wow. So you're, oh, wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to go any further than that. I think I figured something out. But, oh my God, what was my question? So your favorite park is Islands of Adventure?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite ride in Islands of Adventure?
You know what? I'm just going to be a truth teller. I feel like I should have other answers, but it's Spider-Man for me.
Is it really?
I love that ride. I love that. I love the music. I used to ride it 4 times before I would clock in. Like I would get there early so I could ride Spider-Man. It was like my weird baseball superstition. Like I just can't get enough of it.
You know what my favorite ride is in Island, IOA? Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong. This is in Universal Studios.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, yeah. So it's not in Island. Do I have a favorite ride in Island? I don't know, but let me go to my original, which is Universal. My favorite ride is The Mummy.
I was gonna guess that. I wish you would have let me guess.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hi.
Well, that's okay. I knew that we were on the right track
That's
here.
my favorite ride in that park because the line alone, the atmosphere, the design, the production, the emotion of just the line is just.
I love it. And then you're going on a roller coaster in the dark. It's fantastic.
And Brendan Fraser's waiting for you at the end, the secret love
Yes.
of my life. He doesn't know it, but he is.
Oh, really? Well, he's just signed for a MegaCon this year.
I just saw that I'm going to have to come back to Orlando.
Yeah, you're going to have to come back and see. Too bad it's in August. You know, that hair's not going to make it. You know,
No, I had to flat iron the heck out of it today. It was like this big.
well, it'll never get that big. But, you know, you come in April. Here are some other shots of you that I enjoy. I love that cute. That's a cute one. Is that your boyfriend?
That's don't feel weird about this. That's my ex-husband. We're on great terms.
Oh, good. I mean, I guess good that that's your ex-husband, but I mean, good that you're on great terms. That's
Yeah.
fantastic, and that's sexy. I like that. I'm assuming,
Short hair.
yeah. Is it tied up in the back?
No, that was just hacked off. I got it was Florida. I
Ooh.
was hot and I couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, cut it off.
Is that that's a different color too, right?
Yeah, I do like every different color. So that's a little blonde.
Yeah, I love it. You're a little. I mean, I'm looking at you as a pinup girl right there. You know. That's
Thank
pretty cool.
you. That's a high compliment.
And that's longer. Your hair is longer. You know,
Close to
there.
the Yeah.
You're very photogenic. I love your face.
Thank you.
It's funny how when you take a shot with your cell phone in the mirror, everything is reversed. So I have no idea what that says. I'm not going to
That's
try.
a Beetlejuice shirt. It's Dante's Inferno Room. It's a Beetlejuice reference.
And this one you did you do this one today?
Yeah, I did that today. There's like that new app that turns you into
Yes.
a cartoon, but there's
I tried it with me, but I didn't like how mine came out, believe it or not. And I think I need to take a picture without my glasses on. Because I'm sure I'm not that goofy looking the way it turned out. But once I get a good shot, I'll post it myself. But this is absolutely beautiful, this one.
I wish this is how I looked all day, every day. I feel like this captured my goth girl soul.
Well, wait a minute. Look how you're looking now. And I hope you didn't prep or pimp or primp for me.
No, actually, I wasn't able to put like any makeup on, so I'm feeling very vulnerable.
You're beautiful. No, that's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a final question. If anybody has any final questions, they want to go ahead and ask my friend, Audrey Brown. I'm so happy to be calling these people friends, people that I know, because once they really get big up in the world, they can find a caretaker for me when I need, my diapers and my, that kind of stuff done. But anyway, if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in now, because right now I'm about to ask my last question to Audrey. Is your boyfriend in the room?
He's upstairs. I think he's putting his son to bed.
Okay. You don't know if he's done yet, huh?
I think he likes to spend a lot of time with him. Like they'll hang out together and stuff. So I'd wager he's up there. But I can text him to come down if you want.
Say again?
I could text him to come down if you want.
Yes, because I think he's gonna like this. But anyway, let's see. So no more questions are popping up. That's fantastic. Audrey Brown is on Mark Knows Everybody, and this is my last guest for the evening. We'll have another show on Friday with some two more special guests that's coming on. But I have to say that I'm thoroughly over the moon about all of my friends and what I've discovered of my friends by being on my show and not just texting each other on Facebook or things of that nature. I think you are fantastic. And Rose, I think that was some great advice she gave. I would have never thought about, hey, dude.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, I need you. Hey, buddy, I need your ears, not your mouth, because you may be involved. So here we go.
Because usually people ask for my mouth. So I.
Oh, really? Wait, where's that mute button? Where's that mute? Oh, it only mutes all of the screen, not just you individually. Damn it! Stupid technology, it sucks. So, okay, here we go. If you can, not you. If you can, I need for you to tell us something. Remember the if you can part. Tell us something, and this is for Audrey. tell us something. In fact, I'm going to ask you the same question. What's your name again?
Jared.
Jared.
Jerry? Okay, Charlie. I'm going to ask you.
I don't care.
The same question. Audrey, is there anything that you can tell us, the audience that is watching you now, anything that you can tell us about yourself personally that no one else knows? Even Jerry, aka Charlie there. Is there anything that you could honestly reveal without literally, I don't care about the embarrassment. I just don't want it to get you in trouble. But is there anything, this is always my last question to the guest. What is it about you or anything that you have done that no one has ever heard of before, except maybe the witnesses that were there, you know?
Okay, I've got one.
Hold on, got to put you on this big screen here. Hold on.
I'm trying to stay away from professional disclosures. It's not going to be anything anyone's excited about. I was this close to entering the nuclear program in the Navy.
Oh, what?
Ah, there you go. There's a reaction. There's a reaction I wanted.
The recruiters came to my house. We had several meetings. I was desperate to get into the Navy. My parents were like, no, like, so they did everything to keep me out of it. After that, I tried to go to the police academy. My dad.
Because you love Steve Gutenberg, obviously. Yes.
My dad sat me down one day and he was like, honey, I love you. If you try to do either of those things, you're going to die and you need to stick to the arts. And so I don't think I've ever told anyone that except my parents, obviously.
Okay, well, then I guess honestly, it's been revealed that you have dominating parents. People probably lock you up in the basement or something and didn't expose you to the world until you wanted to go to the Navy. And he didn't know that. But you also could have been formerly responsible for like the destruction of Afghanistan. If you made a suggestion, hey, can I push this button, please? You know.
Okay, now we're just gonna make up country. Okay, whatever.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, you know, it's probably good that you didn't go into the military because I honestly think there are other areas of the military, like entertainment, that you could have went into.
I wanted to be nuclear. I wanted to be on a sub. I had seen The Abyss a lot. I was really into it.
That was a very have you not read that stuff?
Hey, I love the Abyss, but you do know what happened to Michael Bihn's character at the end, okay?
It's true.
Yeah. So
R.I.P. every character on Michael Biehn.
Yes, agree. Whatever you just said.
I tried to be funny and I failed. I quit.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You were good this evening. It was great talking to you. We haven't really spoke on a personal basis like this, but when I asked you to be on the show, I was pleasingly surprised at how ecstatic you were about coming on because I'm nobody. I don't know what the hell. What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? You know, like every sci-fi celebrity ever, and you're fun and funny. You're so cool.
I'm a stalker. You know, so. You know,
you're at home on house arrest. I see.
Exactly. Where are you, Indiana? Yeah, I can get there.
Yes,
I can get there in 17 hours or so. I think
it's our state pastime.
Corn stalkers.
Yeah, corn stalkers.
Corn stalkers. See, now you got me thinking about the Amish because you guys have Amish up there too, right?
We do have them here, yes.
Yeah. See, it's like, oh my God, man! I'm in the cornfield and I'm thinking of nothing but Stephen King horror movies or what's that M. Night Shyamalan's horror movies.
Oh, at some point down the road, I will tell you some stories that I've seen just driving on some country roads and being.
Oh, I can only imagine what the headlights hit going by, right?
I'm just scared for myself and everybody else around. Yeah.
Oh my God, there's an Amish stripper over there on the side of the road. What the hell? Get off of that pole.
And she shows a whole calf. It's weird.
Hot.
Wow, that is awesome. Sweetheart, I miss you. This was great. Thanks, Cheryl. See, you've been utterly fantastic. Your boyfriend's nice. You could do better, but I'm busy. Anyway, I heard that. That's great. Good choice. Good job on that guy. I like him already. He's gonna have to friend me on Facebook so I can insult him, publicly. Anyway, so oh wait a minute, I am insulting him publicly. Never mind. Anyway,
wait a minute. Why would you want to threaten to kill her in public? No, wait, I messed up the clue quote.
Yeah, and do me a favor and get out of that kitchen. Okay, so
100 years it took me to get out of this kitchen.
you know, you if you had hired me to design that joint, believe me, I wouldn't have put baby in the corner. Okay, I'm just saying. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I'm actually gonna get off of this phone call and go do more work because I love my job. So.
You and me both. I know it's 9 o'clock, but Gomer Powell is on, but I do work while I'm watching TV all the time. So that's great. Thank you so much, sweetheart. This has been absolutely a joy. I love everything that you've presented us for this evening. I'm just going to go ahead and say good night to you, and thank you for being on the show. You really brought a lot of light to this episode, and outside of the dude who got married at a Star Trek convention, you know. But
Jim's the best. I wish I would have gotten married at a Star Trek convention. Or
Jim is awesome. Jim is awesome, and that's it. But it's the fact that his wife was totally, you know, like, I don't want to be here. You know, is the funny part about it.
The fact she must really love him. You know,
it would have to.
It usually takes 2 nerds to do a nerd wedding, so that's love.
I agree. That was fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Audrey Brown. She's a great screenwriter. My God, go to her website. Her website is audreybrown.com.
.net. .com because I'm a professional.
Well, that's okay, because our business email addresses are .net as well, and I'm like, you know, what the hell? So audreybrown.net. You guys need to go and peruse her site. No, Lorraine, you're awesome, and you're next on the show, so get ready. Get your act together, Miss Writer, woman, thing, person. So Audrey, you're fantastic. I love you, girl. I missed you, and I'm so glad we had this talk. You know, if you ever kick that dude to the curb, you know, just ring me up. And but I charge. I'm expensive. I'm just saying. So
you're worth it. It's fine.
Nothing's free. So you know, you're gonna. I'll put you on a payment plan. How about that?
Finance me, baby.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yes, yes.
I'm coming back for HHN, so I'll call you when I'm in town. And thank you so much for having me.
Perfect. I'll see you at HHN. Bye, sweetheart. Yay!
Bye.
Audrey Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! All right, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and play my intro promo at the end just to give you guys time to get off the air. Thank you, guys. Talk to you on Friday. 2 more great guests. You're going to really like it if you've been liking all the guests, the 16 or 20 that I've had so far. More is coming. Some really incredible guests are coming in the future. So stick with the show. Talk to you guys later. Bye, child. Love you all. Bye.